So show recap. I was such a diva that day. Oh my God. I cannot believe the way that I acted. And I have to apologize for anyone who I was like nasty to. Did I know what it was going to be like? It was kind of what I expected, only better for the fact that I had gotten call-outs. I did not expect to get called out. Huge thank you to anyone who helped me the day of the show, and any friends and family members who came to support me, because I did it. And I'm super happy that I did it. And it was a great experience. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I was so nervous being on that stage, and I ended up placing pretty well, and I got called out, which I was so stoked about. I did not think that would happen. Not only did I meet my goal, but I surpassed it actually. So, it's a win. I totally want to do a show again. I'm not sure exactly when. I have some other ideas in mind first that I might do the next following months. I'm not sure. But I will be back on the stage at some point in the next year and a half. So stay tuned for that. Also, huge thank you to anyone who's been watching my YouTube and has been following my little series for the Mid-Atlantic. And I wanted to actually start from here and use myself and my show and my prep as an example of weight loss and what I'm going to speak about before I go ahead and do vlogs on, you know, macronutrients and calories and whatnot. I want to just use myself as an example that can better help anyone who's watching understand and get a better concept of what I'm trying to explain. So I'm sure you saw my body for my show, which did look pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It did, it looked good. You know, most people will look at a photo of me, or look at that photo of me, and say, you know, oh, what'd you do to prep for a show? I'm sure you had your, you know, chicken and broccoli 8 times a day, and, you know, you didn't eat before bedtime, and you did a lot of cardio and whatnot. And it's funny because I actually did not do any of those things. I kind of went against the grain here with my prep, and of course I did. I had to be a little rebel. The point of me explaining this and saying this is just to show you what holds more weight, or what is more dominant with losing weight and losing body fat, and what is more important for you to pay attention to. So I'm going to use this as an example and as an intro to how I approach nutrition and how I approach weight loss. So how did you lose weight? You know, how did you get that lean for a show? And I'm not talking about just losing a few pounds or 10 pounds. I'm talking about getting lean. I was very, very lean for a show, which is a hard thing to do. And how did I do it with ignoring or not using, you know, that 8 meals a day bullshit? Actually, during my prep, it was when I started to rest more. I never take a rest day. So I've been obviously working out for years, and it has become a habit to wake up in the morning and go straight out that door to the gym. So it wasn't a struggle for me to get out of bed 6-7 days a week like I normally do to go to the gym. Believe it or not, towards the end of my prep, I started taking rest days. I found rest days during my prep more beneficial for me because I wasn't on a lot of calories and I wasn't on a lot of carbs. So I preferred to cut my carbs even a little bit lower and not do any physical activity than to keep the carbs higher and do the physical activity. And then also I ended up getting sick 2 weeks out, so I had a little cold going on. I took a few rest days there. So I was actually spending more time out of the gym during the end of my prep than I was before my prep. So I do hear people frequently say, you know, I can't diet, I can't get in good shape because I don't have the time to get in those 8 meals a day, or, you know, I can't eat clean all the time. And it's so silly because those things aren't nearly as important as other things. So the most important thing is your calories, okay? Calories are the most dominant factor in your weight. And they have been proven time and time again to be. So, just for instance, you have two identical men, okay? Man A and Man B. Man A and Man B both have the same metabolism and they're both doing the same amount of physical activity for the day. Man A is on 1,800 calories. Man B is on 1,600 calories. Man A is on 1,800 calories. He's eating 7 meals a day, including his protein shake, and all of his meals are coming from a lean source of protein. Really strict. He's good with his stuff. Okay. And he gets 10 hours of sleep a night. Right? So he has his sleep, he has his meals, he has them at the exact time that he should, and he has the right nutrients when he should. He's eating 1,800 calories a day. Man B, getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. He is always on the go. He grabs stuff from 7-Eleven, okay? He doesn't have much time to eat. He doesn't really pay attention to the timing that he's eating. He's kind of just eating when he's hungry. But he's eating 1,600 calories a day, okay? Now they both have the identical metabolism and they're both doing the same amount of physical activity. Man B is going to lose weight before Man A, okay? Even though Man A is getting his meals on time and eating the right foods at the right times, his calories are higher than Man B. Why is Man B going to lose weight first? Because calories are more dominant than anything else. If your calories aren't where they should be, if you're not at a calorie deficit, I should say, you're not going to lose weight. If you drop your calories, you're going to start to lose weight. You're going below your maintenance. You bump your calories up, you're going above your maintenance, you're going to gain weight. Very simple. And I think that we all really kind of already know about calories and how they work, but I think that we're not aware of how important or how dominant they are in weight loss. And we simply override them with these other little details. We tend to get all this other information about meal timing and what exercises to do to burn fat and the best, belly fat burning foods and supplements and whatnot, and we totally just acknowledge what's more important at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, it's going to be your calories. Most diets, actually all diets, in some way put you at a calorie deficit, which is why you lose weight. Weight loss will always come down to a calorie deficit, and it's been proven time and time again. Timing, it's a sticky topic because sometimes it applies and sometimes it does not, okay? So meal timing is super, super, super important when you're looking at a diet and training from a performance point of view, okay? So somebody who's into sports or Olympic weightlifting or football player, or somebody who's just very active or training for something in particular, yes, okay? Or if you just want to increase your performance in the gym and throughout the day, that's another story, okay? But does it have an effect on your body fat percentage? Does it have an effect on your weight? So during my prep, as far as meal timing went, it was hard for me to get in, my meals. 4 meals a day is what I had. A snack at night always. And then if I could get a snack in during the day, I would. But I did sometimes go like a 5-hour period without eating, which is kind of pushing the limits. But I couldn't allow myself to obsess over meal timing because my life and my lifestyle right now and being busy, running around, didn't allow me to, okay? I got in my 3 or 4 meals a day. I stayed with my calorie range. and I stayed within my macronutrient range. So your macros, just to brush up on it, is your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates. So, and I ate right before bed, okay? Every night I would have my protein waffles and Arctic Zero half an hour before I fell asleep. Which I say with a little bit of guilt because, I mean, forget about even weight loss. It's really just not that healthy to eat right before bed, but I do it, I did it, and I still looked great. Coming from a performance point of view, it's a different story. And right now I'm actually really focusing on my strength and strength training. So I actually am trying to improve my meal timing. It's something I've been meaning to work on. I'm not saying that I'm proud or you should not go, that you should go a long time without eating. What I'm saying is, does it hold as much of importance as people place on it for weight loss? Eating clean, whatever that really actually means. When I think of eating clean, my idea of it, or what I would describe it, or I don't know, how I would define eating clean would be just unprocessed foods, okay? So to me, that's things that aren't packaged, that's just vegetables, fruit, meat. But a lot of people will obsess over eating clean. Yes, you're gonna get more nutrients from, your fresh vegetables and your fruit and your meats, and you do need that, 100%. And those foods are lower in fat and lower in carbs, okay? And higher in protein. So when people start eating clean, by default, they're knocking out a lot of carbohydrates that were coming from snacks, a lot of sugar, they're knocking out a lot of fat. That is why, and they're knocking out calories. That is why they're losing the weight. There's no magic potion to this clean eating, okay? So I'm somebody who follows calories and macronutrients. And that allows me to, be a little more of a scientist about it and meet my requirements in different ways besides just chicken and broccoli. If anyone who follows me on Instagram probably sees me posting a lot of protein waffles and a lot of sprinkles and bonbons and all this yummy, cute protein baked stuff. And I do eat all of that, I do. And I eat a lot of that during my prep. I was able to because I stayed within my calorie range and I stayed with my macro range, okay? Cardio. Cardio is another sticky topic. Cardio. Everyone loves cardio. As far as cardio went, 15 minutes. As the months went on, I was able to drop body fat and lose weight without increasing my cardio. How did I do that? By cutting my calories and manipulating my macronutrients, okay? And as I started to see my body dilate down a bit, I continued to keep my cardio at 15 minutes. Why? Because if you start to abuse cardio, too soon, and you're looking to get that last bit of body fat off, you're not going to drop your calories down to 900 calories, You have to be reasonable and rational. I didn't really want to drop my calories any lower than I already had them. So I shocked my body those last 2 weeks with some extra cardio. I did in the past, but not in the past year or so, any fasted workouts or fasted cardio. I always eat. So fasted cardio wasn't even a word in my vocabulary. It's still not. As far as sleep went during my prep, I didn't get a lot of sleep in the beginning of it. Towards the end, I did allow myself to sleep a little bit more. And that's it. My body recovered just fine. There were no fat burners, okay? I do not take any fat burners. There was no steroid usage, okay? A lot of people in this industry will go ahead and take water pills or Expel or whatever. There last week, I did not cut my water, okay? I'm not gonna make my body dehydrated and sick for no reason. Am I this magic person who didn't need all of those things? No, okay? Had I had focused more on my meal timing, would I have maybe even came out at the end of this prep leaner? Possibly, okay? Had I had not eaten before bed, would I have maybe looked a little bit tighter? It's a possibility, okay? This, for me, and I've said it before, was, like a little experiment and seeing what my body responded to. And I'm not, boasting and saying you should eat right before bed or you should go 5 hours without eating. The point I'm trying to make is that there are certain things that are more important in weight loss and that are more dominant in weight loss, okay? And that's what you need to focus on. So here I was, not eating frequently, not doing cardio, having protein waffles and ice cream before bed, and I still managed to hit the stage, and I looked great and I placed well, okay? So it does go to show you, should you be stressing about, how frequently you're eating? Should you be stressing about how clean your food is? Should you be stressing about how many hours of sleep you're getting and what supplements and what protein powder to get? No, okay? You should be stressing about your calories for sure, and if you're gonna stress about anything else, it should be your macronutrients. So if you go on a bikini prep and you're doing your 2 hours of cardio and you're eating clean and you have your meal timing on point, is that working because you're doing 2 hours of cardio and you're eating clean? Or is it working for you because you're now at a calorie deficit, okay? And now you've manipulated your macronutrients where your carbs are lower. So it just, gave confirmation to the fact that some things don't matter as much as we think they do. And in order to lose weight, you have to focus on the more dominant factors. But I just want you to absorb the take-home message here. That way you can follow moving forward. And with my clients, I try to instill this with them as well. And once we have calories down pat, you move on to level 2. We'll talk about macronutrients. Once you have macronutrients down pat, we can move on to level 3 and talk about meal timing. But to obsess over these crazy little details before you really understand what you're doing and what's going on at a very basic level, there's no point. So, stay within your calorie range, hit your macros, and I will see you next time.